All right, Coach. We saw Emma Gentry make her college debut. How do you think she played on Saturday?
I think she was excited to finally get in there and get a game underneath her belt. So she, I looked her in the eyes on the day before. I was like, "Hey, you ready?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm ready." And it's kind of one of those responses that gives you chills. She's a hockey player, all right. And so it was to be able to see her get that game underneath her belt and get that experience. And now with a full week of practice leading into Bemidji, we're excited for her to be able to have that and be ready to go for Bemidji.
And Emma Polusny also made her season debut on Friday, coming in for relief for Sonia Hola. But how would you assess Po's play over the game and a half that she did play in net?
Yeah, I thought she jumped right back into where she left off last year in terms of really giving us an opportunity to win, to be in those games and win those games. And I think there's a couple of them I think she would like to take back. I think specifically, I think a breakaway. I think that one bugged her a little bit. There's always going to be a few of those when sometimes when over the course of her career and course of a couple weekends. But yeah, being thrown right in there on Friday, like literally with no warning at all, looked down at the bench and jumped over. I thought she did great. And she even said to me after, that's one of the first times she's ever had to jump in the game right in the middle, and I thought she performed well, and obviously not allowing a goal against there on Friday. And then on Saturday, like I said, I think there's a few that, she's a competitor, so she's always going to want a few back. And, but yeah, I think she picked up right off, right where she left off last year for us in terms of giving us that opportunity to win. And there's no doubt she'll be able to do that this weekend.
And obviously not the outcomes you wanted looking at the box score from Friday and Saturday, but what would you say that your team did well in finding those positives to take into next week?
I think you said it right there. Obviously not the result that we want, and we believe we can play with them. We believe we had opportunities, and there's just some lapses in defensive play. On the forward end, D end, in terms of some different reads and that we need to clean up on and tighten up a little bit on. Saturday specifically, there's a few responsibilities that were just a miss, and that's going to happen sometimes when you have freshmen in the lineup, and then it's also going to happen sometimes when you have veterans and seniors in the lineup, and it happened to everybody, and there's some different reads here and there and that we need to clean up on and capitalize on our opportunities. I thought we were really good in the first period on Saturday. I was really pleased with our play. I thought we had a lot of jump, moving the puck extremely well, really quick. I thought we actually had them on their heels, even though shot count doesn't show it. There's probably 4 or 5 block shots that they had in the first that obviously don't show on the score sheet there. I thought we did well on that, and I thought we were breaking the puck out decent. There's a few things that we need to clean up on that, but overall, I think that was good. Our zone entries, I think, was the biggest thing that we need to clean up on, and I think we just need to enter the zone and attack with a little more speed and pulling their D low, and that'll help open up some more opportunities for us. So overall positive, but definitely you go right back to the drawing board and figuring things out for this week.
Coach, as you prepare for Bemidji now, they haven't played a game yet this season. What's it going to be like preparing for this without necessarily having current tape from a current season?
There's no problem. Again, we just need to focus on us. So it actually, I kind of like it. It's all about us this week. It's all focusing on what we can do to get better. And our ladies, they came back ready to go today. We had a great practice day, great energy, that's what we need. Coming off of a weekend where the results weren't what you wanted them to be. There's 2 ways you can go, and our team chose to come back ready to go and really get better today, and we did that. And so I kind of like not having any video. I kind of like not knowing, and it's the focus is all on us and doing video with our players and cleaning up those different areas that we already talked about. But I think it's going to help us going into the weekend. So it's all about us and what we can do. And Bemidji, they'll be ready to go, just like we were in our first game. We came out ready to go and got a win in our first game, and hopefully we don't let Bemidji do that, but they'll be ready. They'll be ready to rock and roll for sure. So we'll be excited to get in there and have that opportunity to play them.
And I asked the question last week. I'll ask it again this week. Can we expect any of the scratches from Duluth in the lineup against Bemidji?
One with the COVID protocol, we'll have a couple injuries going into this weekend. That's just the course of playing in the WCHA. Sometimes you have some bumps and bruises, so there'll be a few that aren't in the lineup due to injuries, but not due to COVID. But we'll have our last player back, our captain, Kenzie Wiley, as long as her protocol goes according to plan this week, which it's on track to do that right now. So she'll be able to get her game in this weekend and get going, back on the ice. So yes, we'll be through all the COVID as long as everything goes well this week.
All right, Steve, we'll kick in some questions from the outside here. Yesterday in that Saturday game, you had a really nice third period, 12 shots on goal. You got a lot of nice looks from the Nylund, Himlarova, and Kluge line. What were your thoughts on that final period as a way to kind of end that 2-game series against Duluth?
Obviously, it's always hard to come into a period when you're down, but that. And I thought our team responded well in terms of still competing, and coming out and we fought hard. We ended up getting one goal out of that with Nieners getting the goal from Himla. So it's we're happy with our play. We think we can still be better. We showed it in the first period. I thought we played extremely well in the first period. I thought we had a lot of jump, and just weren't. That's watching the tape again. There's probably 3. Those shots go through. It's probably a goal. And so at least on 2 of them. So you look back at it, and that's just the nature of our league. It's really tight. So you can't wait till the third period to all of a sudden turn it on. I think we did play well, and I thought we did show a lot of commitment to competing, but we need to show that for the full 60. And there's 4 minutes in the second period that hurt us, so we need to be able to show that for a full 60 minutes.
Steve, on paper, one of the real positives this season for St. Cloud State has been the work on the penalty kill. You held Duluth, you shut out Duluth actually on their power play opportunities last weekend. All in all, you've killed off 15 of 16. What have been some factors that really helped your penalty kill shut the opposing special teams down?
It's a commitment by our players in terms of their positioning, but it's a commitment to them to blocking shots and carrying their intensity into the special teams, and Molly Engstrom, assistant coach here, she runs the penalty kill, and she's, we tweaked a few things from last year and really happy with those changes right now. And I think our players are responding to that, and so obviously it's a huge positive for us. And, it's one of those things, you don't want to take it for granted. You still want to keep on working on it, but it's, there's a comfort factor in knowing that your players are really responding to that part of the play right now.
Steve, of course, when you faced Bemidji State in the past, Lauren Bench in net has been a big name for them. She's with the Gophers now as their starter, which means not only has Bemidji State not played a game yet this year, they'll also be going in with a first-time, full-time starting goaltender, unless they'll be using some sort of switch with that. From your perspective, looking as the opposing coach ahead to this series, do you think it gives you any sort of edge facing a goaltender who's first off cold after having her first 2 series canceled, and second off really getting her first time as a starting goaltender?
No, to be honest, I didn't even thought about it, because look at Sani Hola, first career start, shutout, set a program record in her first career start. So it doesn't matter, I hadn't even thought about it yet, because again, all focus is on us. And it's, you look at the opposing team and what they may have and what they may have lost, but every team gains and loses, right? So it's just a matter of us controlling what we can control. So nope, doesn't matter. We have to show up no matter who's in net, and who's facing off on the other side. So we have to show up. We have to play our game.
4 games into the season, have there been any newcomers that have really stood out to you as being big impact pieces?
Yeah, I think there's, all of them are doing things that, at every game that we're like, oh, okay, there's some promise there, and really like, and there's a learning curve for all freshmen. Obviously Emma Gentry getting her game underneath her belt. We saw some flashes there of what's to come, and she'll get more and more comfortable as things go along. But I keep going back to the back end of the D-core with Adela Shkidlova and Addie Scribner. What they're logging a lot of minutes right now, and playing in every situation, and being thrown right into the fire WCHA play. And I think they're doing a great job back there. And, we have Nicole Ness, she plays both. She's really a forward, and we're converting her to a D. She's played both in the past, but, and she's answering that bell and learning that position well. And then up front, Allison Green stepping in and getting some games underneath her belt. Mackenzie Bourget showing very well, and Melatindos, like that. The list goes on in terms of some players that we think are stepping into some key situations that that we think they're going to be able to play a role. So I think overall as a group, they're really helping us, and their learning curve is being forced to be a little bit faster than usual, and I think that's a great thing, and they're responding great to that. So I think there's a lot of promise there, and moving forward.
All right, Steve, one last question. You mentioned that this week you have a really good opportunity to work on yourselves and practice without much on tape of Bemidji State this year. What are there anything in particular that you're looking for from the team to carry over from this week of practice into this weekend series with the Beavers?
Higher pace of play, especially in our zone entries, offensive zone. We spent almost all day today on that and what we can do on the offensive side of things. And obviously when you get one goal on the weekend, we got to score more goals, right? So it's simple math. So for us, that's something that we're really focused on today, and we'll continue that. There'll be obviously other areas of our game that we have to address, but for the offensive game and our ability to have some more zone time is critical going into against Bemidji.
Jenniina, we saw you play with Laura and Clara last weekend against Mankato. How do you like playing with them, and how do you think you played against Duluth with those two on your line?
I really like playing with them. I think we have a great chemistry in our line, and we are able to we like to talk about a lot about the game, and yeah, I really like it. I think Saturday we played better, and I think we keep improving our game all the time.
And what did you see on the ice when you scored that goal on Saturday?
Well, it was a great forecheck by Laura and Clara, and a great pass by Clara. And I just saw that the top left corner was left open, so I just decided to go for it.
And Emma, what went through your head when you had to jump off the bench into the game on Friday? Coach Steve said it was one of the first times that you've had to do that, come in mid-game. What went through your head?
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever actually had to come in mid-game where I wasn't expecting to play. There's been times where where I've split games before and I'd come in at the half, but you knew that you were going to play. I think it was at like a TV timeout, and I was completely just staring off into space. I think they had to say my name a couple times to get me to pay attention again. And I was like, oh crap, okay. But after that, just make one save and then just kept on going from there. So it was definitely fun, and we're hoping Sonny can get back to being healthy soon.
And you played your first full 60 on Saturday. Third time in your career you've had 50 or more saves in a game. How do you think you played on Saturday?
Yeah, I would say, if you take away those 4 minutes where they were getting their goals in the second period, you've got a 1-1 hockey game in the third. So I would say that there's obviously a couple of mistakes that, I'd like to clean up, and that I think we as a team like to clean up in the defensive zone a little bit, just in terms of minimizing some of the chances that they got. But overall, I think it's a good starting point. It definitely feels good to feel the puck a little bit more.
And personally for you, how do you improve from your performance against Duluth into this weekend against Bemidji?
Yeah, I would say Duluth, definitely fun series to play, lots of shots on goal. I'd say going into Bemidji, I'm trying to, kind of calm it down a little bit. Obviously, there's a little bit of nerves, a little bit of jitters, even if it is senior season, first game back in a while, kind of got to remember how to play hockey a little bit, it seems like. But I think now that we've got that first series under the belt in terms of myself, I'm ready to kind of just cool down a little bit, make the saves I'm supposed to, have good rebound control, and make sure that we're taking care of everything on the back end for us to score some goals.
And lastly, Jenniina, I'll ask you the same question. How can you improve on what you established against Duluth this upcoming weekend against Bemidji?
I think we just need to play simple, get the puck to the net, be stronger in front of the net, both in front of our net and their net, and just shoot more and put the puck in the net.
We'll start with Jenniina. Jenniina, on Saturday in that third period, St. Cloud State had 12 shots on goal, and I believe you had 4 of them. How were you feeling in that third period? How were you seeing the ice, and how was the offense moving for you?
I was feeling great. I mean, yeah, I don't know what happened between the second and third period, but I was feeling great.
Emma, I'm going to take you back to the weekend prior. This is the first time we've had a chance to chat with you here in the regular season. Sonia Hola starting both games against Minnesota State Mankato, wins WCHA Freshman of the Week. You're the senior, obviously, and her coming in as a freshman, looking to you as some sort of leadership role. What was your reaction like with her throughout that weekend as she experienced her first collegiate hockey taste?
Yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. You love to see somebody come in and dominate right from the get-go. I told her about my first collegiate game, and I let in my first 2 shots on net. So I said to her, you can do better than me pretty easily here. And she did a lot better, that's for sure, getting a shutout in her first start and really playing a solid all-around weekend. I'm super excited for her. I'm a little, I think everybody's pretty sad to see that, she got hurt in this past series, but I think we're all just hoping for a quick recovery for her so then she can get back here for the second half of the season and we can get cruising again with a little bit of a 1-2 punch, kind of bring it back to what it was like for me and Janine for, I think, part of my freshman year and sophomore year as well.
Emma, Nick touched on it earlier, you having to come in mid-game there on Friday night against Minnesota Duluth. How long did it take you to really get settled in? Obviously, statistically, you did really well stopping all 17 shots, but mentally, how long did it take to really step in and be back on the ice?
Yeah, I would say I think the first shot on goal that I had, it was a little bit of a just kind of a scramble. I'm pretty sure I ate it too. I know Hannah Bates said she was on the bench and she saw me fall right on my butt and was laughing at me. So I think it took me maybe a couple minutes just to get my feet under me. 1 save, 2 saves. I think then I fell and then I was up and running from there. So I would say a couple minutes into that second period, I was good to go, feeling good going into the intermission that we would have a good go around for the rest of the third.
Jenniina, turning things back to you, you lead the Huskies with 12 shots on goal so far this season. That's double the next highest St. Cloud State Husky. How have you felt about your offensive game through these first four campaigns for St. Cloud State?
Well, obviously a lot of shots, but need to improve the quality of the shots, and just I have to be able to score more and help the team that way. And I think it's easy to play with Laura and Clara. We all see the game kind of same way, so it's really easy to play with them, and that way we create a lot of chances.
I'll open this question up to both of you. We'll start with Emma and then have Jenniina answer after Emma. Steve mentioned during his portion of the press conference today that given that there's no tape of Bemidji State this year, they haven't played yet. This is a very individual focused week of a lot of individual development for St. Cloud State and focusing on yourselves. What's an area of your game, or maybe a couple areas of your game, that this week in particular, you're really looking to improve a little bit going into Bemidji State?
Yeah, I would say for myself, it's always just rebound control. I think the better I can be in terms of controlling rebounds and not giving them any second or third opportunities, the more I can do to kind of help my team and start our breakout and go the other direction. So for me, it'd be just making sure I'm putting pucks in the corner and kind of bringing that calmness to the net as well. I know this past weekend I was having quite a bit of fun and a little bit jittery. So really working on bringing that calm and very steady play here this weekend.
Yeah, I think we just need to get the puck to the net, and one area we can improve is obviously power play. I think that would be a huge thing this weekend. And yeah, we have been doing really good. I think we've been doing really good on penalty kill, but we need to improve our power play.
Yeah, it's a great point, Jenniina, mentioning the penalty kill. St. Cloud State shut out Minnesota Duluth on the power play this past weekend. And so far this year, you're 15 of 16 on the penalty kill for St. Cloud State. What do you think, Jenniina, this question directed to you, what would have been some good aspects that have allowed St. Cloud State to be so good on the special teams this year?
Well, we have been blocking a lot of shots. Everyone's willing to block shots. That's a huge thing, I think. And obviously our goalies has been great, so that has helped us a lot.
Emma, I'm going to turn this question to you as a senior and one of the captains on this team. Obviously, these first 2 weeks, especially in COVID times, have been very interesting. The first weekend, St. Cloud State was without 8 student athletes, and there were a lot of freshmen that had to play on high lines, a lot of newcomers that got a lot of ice time. As a senior, looking at this group of freshmen and Addie Scribner in there as well as a newcoming sophomore, who's stood out to you, or any players in particular that you felt have really embraced the collegiate game early on?
Yeah, I think the whole freshman class and Addie included in that, I think they've all really stepped up. I think for the most part, they've been able to kind of integrate themselves in the team pretty seamlessly. They're great in the locker room as a bunch, and they're really, really hard workers. I think that them as an entire group, they've stood out just in terms of, getting on the ice early, staying late, working with Janelle and Molly, working on skills, stuff like that. So I'm really excited. Obviously, it was great seeing a couple first goals as well for Allie Cornelius, who's a junior, but she still got her first collegiate goal against Mankato, and then Kenzie Borgery as well, getting her first, and a couple other first points, I think, in there as well. So it's exciting. Really excited to see what they can kind of bring as a group, and I know that they bring a lot of energy and youth to the team. That's really great to see.